All right, Coach, this past weekend, up at WT Canyon, ended up getting a sweep over a very good baseball team. Just talk about what you saw from your team this past weekend.
Well, really proud and sort of challenged our guys before we went up there. It's tough to make history as a player on an Angelo State team, and we'd never swept them, at that field. We had swept them in Canyon, but that was before they had the new field, and really felt like we were capable of doing that, going up there, and so challenge the guys, and it's always good when you do that and they respond. So thought, especially with some injuries and stuff, we had guys step up big time, and was just really excited of how the whole team played.
You won 2 thrillers, the first 2 of the series, then it's just a complete demolition the last 2. So what stood out to you most about your team's overall performance, and what impressed you most?
Well, in the games that we won close, we made plays when we needed to make plays, and we were by no means perfect. And then, felt like game 2, that should have been a blowout. That was one that I can't remember if that was the 6-5 game or the 7-6 game, but we got guys on all overnight, and we just didn't have the at-bats that we needed. Left a ton of guys on base. Situational hitting wasn't good. Made some mistakes defensively that opened the door for them. And so I was excited about being able to overcome those things, because you're not going to be perfect, and still find a way to win. And then, last 2 we came out and swung the bats, really how we did every game but game 1. And game 1, their pitcher had a heck of a whole lot to do with that, because he's really good. I think he's way better than what his numbers indicate.
So what was the biggest difference in good?
I keep turning it off, but it keeps dinging. All right, let's try it again. Go ahead.
So where was I? Yeah. Okay. So in games 3 and 4, Saturday night and Sunday, what was the biggest difference? You won some close thrillers before, like I said, but then obviously the rest were just total routes. What worked differently, or was it just one of those days where everything just clicked and went well for you?
I felt like we hit like that in game 2. We just executed better situationally, and that was it. And we came out hot, as we've had a tendency to do game 3, and then just really never stopped. And
this next question might be a little hard, but if you had to choose, there's so many players had multiple stats. You hit a lot of home runs, a lot of extra base hits, all that. If you had to choose, which player would get the game ball, if it even exists?
For this whole series?
Yeah, if you had to pick.
I think Floodstrom, he played really good. I told him, he's a transfer from UTPB. I was like, you really probably should have gone to West Texas A&M, but you seem to like this field. I'm glad he ended up coming here. But he was big in every game, and had some really big hits for us. But he was like, yeah, I played really well last year here too. So he does like that field. I'm glad he's around though.
Coach, obviously it's been kind of no secret that on top of the conference ahead of time about one game, you've essentially put yourself in a position to be able to, in a good position heading into the weekend, getting this sweep. What does it mean just to for your playoff implications, be able to sweep WT on the road and be able to match Tyler, who was just playing so raws?
Yeah, no, if you looked at this thing 3 or 4 weeks out, I think everybody probably expected us to be about 3 or 4 games down going into these last 2 weeks. Really, I'm pretty sure Tyler expected to be popping champagne a couple of weeks ago and saying we won it, and they still are in good position to do that, as are we. We control our own destiny, which is great. Again, though, not a goal of ours to win a conference title ever. It doesn't get you anything but a trophy. So we're gonna, what it is, it's really valuable playing very meaningful games, and so I think that does help you hopefully get ready for the postseason when, unfortunately, you have a bad day, your season's over. And so, we stress that game 1's the same, but, sometimes people, you got to see it and get a little closer for it to be reality. We knew this 12-game stretch we just finished was going to be big. We went 11-1 in it. Now the next 8 are the exact same. So, what's going to be really good is we'll play 20 games at least. And I think we played 50. But that game is the difference between this and that and whatever. And then, we just want to get in the playoffs. Where you play, all that stuff does not matter. It's how you play that day. But I think it does help build, some attributes that are needed to be successful in the postseason. So we're excited about getting to take on a really good Eastern New Mexico team this weekend and sort of see if we can't continue to improve.
And then we'll touch on Eastern here in just a second, but we saw Caleb Hearts make his first appearance on the mound in a little bit over a month. Obviously not the result that you would have wanted him to get in that moment, but nonetheless still made that appearance. What was it like to be able to see him back out there throwing the ball?
It was good. I thought he threw well. He gave up a 2-out, 2-strike base hit up the middle, hung a breaking ball. It's good to have Caleb back. Hopefully he continues to progress and we can sort of move forward. He's probably a month, 6 weeks away from being, the guy that we know and seeing over and over again. And so that's good. If we not have any setbacks, he'll be ready to go when it counts.
And then looking ahead this weekend, Eastern New Mexico, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, of course with the Easter weekend. A team that's pretty much been pretty polarizing, splitting with a lot of the top teams in the conference. What do you expect from that matchup?
Well, I'm so proud of Riley Price, who's a former GA for us here, on the job he's done there. They've been so competitive. I remember the year after COVID when, the great governor of New Mexico decided it was too unsafe to play a game in New Mexico, so they had to travel every road game, and it's just unimaginable to play every game on the road. And his guys played really, really hard, and and I just know what a grind it is. So he's just done such a fabulous job on getting good players and get them to go compete. And so that's, as a coach playing an opponent, that's really the thing you hate the most, is a team that's going to fight back. And we know they will. And so we'll have our hands full. And, as you said, they've gone up against the titans of the conference and fared very well. So we're going to have our hands full. It's great, though. That's why you do it. You want a challenge. And so we'll go try to beat each other's brains in.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.